Greetings, captains, and welcome to this FMC programming tutorial video. Many of you have requested that I do a full tutorial showing how to enter a flight plan manually into the FMC. That is, without using the export company route feature that normally ships with most flight planning tools. In this video, we are going to be creating a flight plan using SimBrief, and then we're going to enter the flight plan into a Boeing FMC. Let us begin with the flight planning part of this tutorial. If you're unfamiliar with SimBrief, SimBrief is a free online flight planning tool. It is, in my opinion, the very best online flight planning tool available today. We're not going to be delving into the details of SimBrief in this video, but I am going to show you how to create a flight plan for the purpose of our tutorial. One note that is worth mentioning, though, is that if you have a Navigraph account with an FMC dataset subscription, you're able to use it with SimBrief. And the way you do this is you go to Dispatch, Account Settings, and simply scroll down, enter your Navigraph account information, and if you have a valid subscription, you'll be able to unlock the latest nav database. As you can see, I'm using ARAC 1702, which is the latest version. In order to create a flight plan using SimBrief, the very first step is setting up your aircraft. And to do this, we go to Dispatch and we go to the Dispatch System. From the Dispatch System, select on My Fleet, and then we're going to click on New Frame. As you can see, I have several aircraft already created. Once you click on New Frame, you'll be able to select your aircraft from the drop-down menu. Let's just say that we're going to select the A310 and say Proceed. You will be presented with various options and fields that you can edit. I do not recommend that you make any changes to these fields unless you know exactly what you're doing. You can, though, change the civil registration and VIN number for your aircraft. Once you're done, just click on Save Aircraft. And now, your aircraft will be available for flight planning. The next thing we want to do is we want to go back to the dispatch system, and this time we're going to click on Create New Flight. All right, so what we're going to do is today we're going to be doing, of course, a fictitious flight, and the airline is Kuwait Airways, flight number 456, and the departure airport ICAO code is Oscar Kilo Bravo Kilo, and the arrival airport is Oscar Mike Delta Bravo, and that would be Dubai. And it will automatically calculate an adequate alternate airport, which is, I believe this is Abu Dhabi. And this is the date of the flight and the departure time. And normally, this step normally is done by the dispatcher, and that's why this is called a dispatch system. So normally when the pilot arrives into the briefing center, he arrives maybe about an hour and a half for long-haul flights, and the dispatcher would actually hand him the entire flight packet, which contains, the flight plan. So the pilot doesn't normally do the flight planning. So the next thing we are going to do here is we're going to select the aircraft, and for the purpose of this video, we're going to select this aircraft here, which is the 737-300. And we're going to wait a while until now. Now SimBrief, what SimBrief has done is that it actually calculated everything for us. As you can see, the departure runway is 15 left. Arrival runway into Dubai is 12 right. Taxi out in, extra fuel and altitude. Everything here, of course, is set up. I've set everything so that it is automatically calculated for me. And if you're just starting with SimBrief, or you're just starting with flight planning, it's my recommendation to also keep things on auto so that everything is calculated automatically for you. Now what you can do here is this is going to be our route today into Dubai, and you can click on Analyze Route. And now it says that your route is valid for AIRAC 1702, route distance 515 nautical miles plus 11.7%. That would be probably our Sidon star. This is the reason why there is an increase in the actual route distance. Now, what I really like about SimBrief is that it shows you everything that you need to know. It shows you a map, so it maps everything for you. This is the infamous Dubai approach. And you are also able to create a flight plan, generate an operational flight plan, as well as download the relevant file for your favorite sim. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say generate flight plan, and it says confirm you wish to generate flight plan. This one, fine. Go ahead and overwrite the previous flight plan, and now the briefing package is being generated. The flight briefing package has now been created, and we are able to print or view a PDF. We can create a VATSIM file if you fly on VATSIM, or you can download the FMS for various aircraft, whether for X-plane or P3D. Now, this is the operation flight summary. Airline is Kuwait Airways, flight number 456. The aircraft is a 737. The origin is Kuwait, destination Dubai, alternate is Abu Dhabi. Cruise altitude is 35,000 feet. This is the date, departure time, air time, block fuel, extra fuel, zero fuel weight, and the fuel factor. This is the routing that we will be using for our flight today. And now you can take a look at the map, and here is the full paperwork preview of the flight plan. Now, there is a ton of information in this flight plan, and we're not going to be using everything in this, but I will point out the information that we're going to need as we enter the information into the flight management computer. A quick run through though of what this operation flight plan contains. It contains the information of the departing and arriving airports. Of course, it contains the planned fuel for this trip. And as you can see, the total block fuel is 13,423 pounds. This is the route ID, and this is our departure and arriving runways. And if we scroll down here, this is actually the beginning of the flight log. So this is the departure out of Kuwait. This is the SID, which is the Box 23 Echo departure. And now this is an airway, which is Bravo 416, okay? And Bravo 416 will end at, let's see here. It will end right here at Desdi. This is our top of descent, okay? Another brilliant feature in SimBrief is that it gives you exactly where to begin your top of descent. And this is where we're going to exit the airway, Bravo 416 at Desdi, which is, by the way, the transition for our star, which is the Desd 1 Bravo. This will all make sense as we enter this information into the FMC. Other information that comes in handy is the wind information. So you've got your climb and the cruise and descent wind information, which is extremely useful, especially when flying online. ATC flight plan is also available for you, plus many other information related to weather, both at the destination, the departure, and the alternate airports. Of course, the NOTAMs are also available, and also some instructions for the airport, both the departure and arriving airports. As you can see here, for example, taxiway Echo 115 is closed for all ops due to maintenance. There are some tempo obstacles, 3 tower cranes erected, and so on and so forth. So it does give you a lot of very useful information. Now, this information is useful for you to know, and maybe you can simulate not going to that particular taxiway. but in the sim, this is really irrelevant information that is not really going to, add anything to you, so you can just safely skip this. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the flight deck and enter this information into the FMC. Before we jump into the flight deck and start programming the FMC, let's take a look at how things actually look like on the airport charts. And this is going to be, so this is Kuwait International Airport, and this is the SID, this is the Boxic 3 Echo, which we are going to be taking. This is our SID, basically, that we will be taking for our departure out of Kuwait. Let's take a look at the Dubai approach. All right, so this is the approach into Dubai, and as you can see, this is DESD. This is the exit point of our airway, and this will lead it into DESD 1 Bravo, and from that we will take the RERIC transition into Dubai International. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the flight deck and enter the flight plan into the FMC. All right, we are now ready to program the FMC. I have powered up the aircraft and I've entered the fuel, which is 13,423 pounds of fuel. So let's go ahead and begin FMC, position initialization, and we are at Oscar Kilo, Bravo Kilo, and we enter that here, the airport reference airport, copy that into the scratch pad and back here. Now we go to the route. Now the origin is going to be Kuwait, and the destination is Dubai, which is Oscar Mike Delta Bravo. Okay, now we're not going to be entering a company route. Our flight number today is Kuwait Airways 456, and that's the flight number, and we're just going to go ahead and say on route. Now as you can see here, now this is the VIA 2, okay, and this is where we're going to be entering the information that we received here. So before we do so, let's go ahead and select the departure and arrival runways and SIDS and stars. So for departure, we'll select Kuwait first, and we're going to be departing Kuwait according to our plan. Right here, runway 15 left. So this is our departing airport through the Boxy 3 Echo, which is right over here. Okay. Right, so that's selected. Route, activate, and execute. Okay. And now we'll go back to the departure and arrival page, and now we're going to select our arrival into Dubai. Our arrival into Dubai, if you look here, let's see here. So we are going to be arriving through the DESD 1 Bravo, and we're going to do an ILS runway. Okay, let me just show you this. All right. Okay, so this is 12 right, and this is the DESD 1. Let me just bring this here. This is the DESD 1 Bravo. Okay, this is our star into Dubai, and this is the arriving runway. All right. So let's go to the DESD 1 Bravo, which is this one here, and we're going to do an ILS runway 12 left at Dubai. All right. So that is now selected. And now it's showing here a transition, okay? Now if we go down to our flight plan and we take a look here, as you can see, there is the RERIC transition, okay? So we're going to select RERIC and we're going to say execute. And now this is the active flight plan. Okay, now if you go to the legs page, you will find that this is the transition out of the SID in Kuwait, and there is a disco here, and then this is the transition into the star to Dubai. Okay, all right, so let's go to the route page and we'll click on route. Now as you can see here, there is a route discontinuity, okay, and that's because from BOXIC, okay, that is the waypoint or the transition out of the SID. We need to take airway Bravo 416, okay? So this here, this airway is the via, okay? So this airway, think of it as the bridge that will take you all the way to the end of this airway. Well, you will find an entry point into either another airway or waypoint. In this case, this is going to take us all the way to DESD, which is the transition into our star. Okay, so via Bravo, that's Bravo 416, Bravo 416, and we'll enter this here. And as you can see, we're going to exit a Bravo 416 airway at DESD, which is this one here, right? So the only thing we need to do here is copy that into the scratchpad and back here. And now we'll say execute. And now our flight plan is complete. Now if we go to the legs page, as you can see, there are no discos and everything is set up for our flight. Pretty simple, isn't it? We can enter the gross weight and other information here from the ground services. See, the gross weight is 50.78, so we'll say 50.78 and enter that here. Plan is 13.4. All right, zero fuel is 37.4, which is correct right here. Reserves, we just say 1, and the cruise altitude is 35,000 feet for our flight today. So that's 35,000 feet. And one limit, and of course we can derate the takeoff, or we can put the selected temperature. We'll just go ahead and say, you know, we'll derate since we're actually taking off pretty light. And now for takeoff, we have flaps 5 is already set. The center of gravity we can select from here, which is 20, and we enter that here. That gives us a trim of 3.6. And here are now your V speeds, V1, V rotate, and V2. And we'll now say execute, and everything now is ready for our departure. As you can see, all the altitudes are now set, and you have the distances to the different waypoints in the flight plan. Now, just notice that when we entered 416, it actually automatically entered all the waypoint contained in that airway. Okay, so as you can see here, we only had to enter B416, but what we got is everything from the BOXIC. So everything beyond BOXIC up until DESD is actually entered automatically for you, because that's what the waypoints that are contained in the airway. So that's it, folks. This is really what you really need to do in order to manually enter a flight plan into an FMC. If you have any questions regarding FMC programming, please do post your questions in the comment section below. I'll try to answer your questions as quickly as I possibly can. Until next time, captains, please do take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.